Hey everybody, it's Guy here. It's Thursday, February the 16th, and I wanted to record a short video to share an idea that I think is very, very useful, and I think a lot of you will resonate with this idea. I'm recording this on my laptop as a short video. I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel so that people can find it. But I'm also going to record a version of this for Facebook Live because I don't know, I seem to be able to reach more people that way. So I'll do a short Facebook Live version of this. Um, but what I want to convey is a very simple idea that I think is very useful at this time. And it's this: I know a lot of people out there are looking for options of where to live outside of the city. And, a lot of people that I know in the freedom movement and other walks of life, um, some of them are happy living in their single family homes and they're in their house and that's it, full stop. I don't know. I'm starting to wonder if that's even how I want to live. And I think for maybe not for the rest of my life, I don't know, but certainly for the foreseeable future, I want to live in community. And I've been thinking about, well, how to do that. My wife and I sold our house in Innisfil a couple of years ago. We traveled, we came back. We've been really having long talks about this. We lived in a 30-foot travel trailer last summer for 6 months, really enjoyed it up in Magnetawan, Ontario, in northern Ontario. And it was interesting. We got it through that experience, we learned that we could live with a smaller footprint. And we really enjoyed being close to nature. And then for the winter, because the trailer's not winterized, we've been renting a cottage, quite expensive, outside of Parry Sound. And we'll probably live in our trailer next summer again. In fact, for sure we will. But we're starting to think, well, what are we ultimately going to do? Are we going to go and buy a house? And houses, even though prices have come down, they're so expensive. It costs a fortune. And then what do you have? Okay, you have a house and you have your land, and you can say, oh, here's my place and it's mine. But you're on your own. Yes, you can have neighbors and community that way. But here's my idea anyway. I'll just cut to the chase. Um, what if you had a group of people? I don't know what the magic number is. Maybe it's six families, or couples, whatever, individuals, doesn't matter. Maybe it's 10. But you get together and you have a couple of weekends where you hammer out an agreement. You come to terms on a charter of how you will live together in community. And I'm sure there's templates out there, there's examples of successful communities. Findhorn in Scotland comes to mind, but there's others. And you go out and you buy a piece of land, by which I'm thinking a farm, a small farm. Maybe it's 20 acres, maybe it's 40 acres, maybe it's 100 acres, I don't know. But you come up with, maybe it's a small farm, small to medium size, let's say. And you build, say, 10 cabins on that. Or maybe it's tiny homes, because maybe in certain jurisdictions you can only do that, if it's on wheels or something. So I'm just thinking offhand, maybe it's cabins, maybe it's tiny homes on wheels, or some combination. And you put them artfully on the land. And everyone lives in their own tiny home. So you've got your kitchen, your bedroom, like loft bedroom, maybe it's a 2-bedroom thing. And you've got a composting toilet probably, and maybe your unit is heated with propane tanks. But the beauty of this is the farm would come with a farmhouse and a barn and maybe a tool shed and some other structures. And what you do is, well, one thing I'd look at is installing indoor vertical farm technology and building some greenhouses so that you can grow fruits and vegetables year round. And in the barn, you can have chickens and ducks and goats and things, sheep probably. But you share the farmhouse as your kind of combination dining hall and community center. Okay? So that if you feel like being on your own, you hang out in your cabin and you say, hey, I don't feel like being social today or this week. But normally what you do is you go to the farmhouse for dinner every night. You know, maybe the group of you pools your resources and you hire, or maybe just in exchange for free room and board, you have a cook. You know, you have a chef who makes meals, say five nights a week. So you've got dinner 5 nights a week from, at least partially, from what you're growing on your own land. Maybe you go into business together and you operate, say, a retreat center that offers meditation, yoga, sacred music. I don't know, all kinds of things that you could do as a community to bring, if you want, to bring people in, to bring money in. Maybe you turn the farm into, well, this would really speak to me because I'm halfway through a permaculture design course. Maybe you turn the farm into a permaculture demonstration center and you have people come and do work and work learning exchanges. So you get people to come and donate some time to help with the chores, and you teach them how to grow food in these alternative ways. And maybe you teach how to build tiny homes, how to build cabins, how to set up yurts and this kind of stuff. And maybe you set up a big geodesic dome or a large yurt, a large Mongolian yurt, and you have yoga in there for your little community. You have, I don't know, if people are interested in plant medicine ceremonies, you could do that or not. You could do Pilates, you could do anything in there. So you have a vibrant little community that it's its own sort of little self-organizing pod, to live. And so everybody's cost, your capital costs are much lower. The workload of operating a farm, you talk to anyone who has a country property, it's a lot of work. But if you've got 10 families or 10 couples or some combination thereof, and maybe if some of them have children, you have a one-room outdoor learning center, and people homeschool the kids. And the beauty as well is as you put your community together, first of all, obviously you got to find people who you're friends with or you share values and you feel you can get along. And you'll have a mechanism if it's not working out, that people get bought out. If somebody needs to move out for whatever reason, because that will happen. So you have a mechanism for that, like a prenup. and but it would be good to have different skills. Maybe somebody is a nurse or a former nurse, and maybe they lost their job because they weren't willing to submit to an experiment. Maybe you have a doctor. Maybe you have a school teacher. Maybe you have somebody who's very skilled with building carpentry and building tiny homes. Maybe you have another person who, just the sky's the limit, really, to the skills that you could bring in that would be useful for the community. Maybe one of them is really experienced with gardening and farming and can head that up. And everybody works, say, one day a week, growing food and helping out that way. Anyway, I didn't want to make this video more than about 10 minutes long. So that's the idea. There's lots of details to figure out. But if this interests you, send me a private message with your contact info. uh, please give me your full name and email and phone number, and I'll add you to a little Excel sheet, spreadsheet that I'll create. And if I get enough interest, we'll call a meeting and we'll start discussing this. And I'm not just, on the one hand, yes, I am looking to possibly do this with my wife, Vanessa, in the not too distant future. But I also want to help be a midwife to creating these all across the province and, for that matter, across the country. I'll probably focus my efforts in Ontario. I know of several of these that are starting up. Some of them are really big and they're going to be several years away from fulfillment. Some of them are small and there's pros and cons of how they're being done. But I really like the idea of just going out, like forming a group first and then going out and looking at properties. Now, it may just work out that somebody I already know is already going to move forward with something that I'll jump into. But I'm not going to just sit and wait. You got to sort of take action in this world. And so, yeah, if I can put together a group, we could sit down and discuss this seriously and with a view to make it happen. And then instead of having to go and spend $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 on some property where you're just living by yourself out there and you have no resilience, so to speak, and you've got to do all the work yourself as an individual or as a couple or as a family. I really like this idea. And I will add that, it would be important to me that, like, I like to have a certain amount of time to myself, but also when I'm in the mood for community, I like that, and I like being around people. And this idea of sharing the farmhouse and stuff, for me, that was a breakthrough. That everyone has their own dwelling, and then you do something special with the farmhouse and the other shared facilities. So yeah, send me a private message if this interests you. Make comments if you want, and let's see where this goes. Because it's time to take steps toward doing this. The time is right now. I'm done with just sharing information and writing articles and sharing links about what's going on in the world. We need to start building the world we want. And I'd love to build this and have it be a permaculture demonstration facility and all that as well. There's so much we could do. So anyway, I'm stoked. Hope you are too. Look forward to hearing from you. And I'll probably do a version of this as a Facebook Live just to point to this video and get the message out. Thank you for your kind attention, everybody. Namaste in Lak'ech.